And how did things go for your Halloween bash?
Wow. You know what, Greg? And so I couldn't get on last Tuesday because of the Halloween buffet, right? It was the first time that we had done anything like that here. And literally, it was a hit. I think we had probably about 26 outside guests who came in for that. And so we were able to do a number of tours, but it was spectacular. They got a kick out of the different names that we had for the foods, right? All in fun, and in the tradition of the Halloween spirit, whether it was the worms in the dirt, or if it was the spider legs, or if it was the sticky bones, or whatever it was. But we had such a wonderful time, I tell you. And to see our residents as well as our guests and some of our employees dressed up, it really was a great day and a great occasion that we had here. So was just thrilled to death for those that came out and participated, and certainly more so to be able to show off the community, right? To share the services and the amenities that we have. So it was a great day.
So I have a sneaking suspicion that this may come back for an encore next year.
Sure, absolutely. If it works, certainly we want to start some traditions here. We've had plenty of those already, but certainly to add another one to our list of things that we do here at Harbor Place.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Well, it seems like before we know it, it's going to be Thanksgiving, and then obviously the holidays, be it Christmas or uh, uh, some of the other holidays around Hanukkah, whatever. I mean, it's that season is upon us.
It is, and it's a busy time of the season as well. So, not only celebrating and with our residents here, but certainly for those who may be interested in learning more about the community and wanting to come in and tour, especially during the time where we're decorated, whether for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, and just participate in some of the activities that we will have going on here in the community. So, yeah.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Now, Thanksgiving itself, are you going to have anything special on Thanksgiving for the residents?
So we do our traditional Thanksgiving meal with the turkey and the ham and all of the fixing. Certainly want to invite many of our residents, family members in, and some of their friends in. And so that really is just one of those bountiful days where, we try to introduce some of the more traditional things that are happening, but some of the residents' favorites as well. And then later that evening, we kick off, heading towards Christmas. So showing some of the Christmas movies that are favorites of some of our residents and families. And so, yeah, we're excited to get ready for the holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because that's a special time where our residents gather with their family and their friends.
Got a question. Speaking of family and friends, I mean, are they going to be allowed in to celebrate as well with the residents?
Sure, always, certainly I know there were some restrictions at one point because of COVID, but certainly we have opened up our doors full blast, right? Even to the point that on tomorrow night we have our family night, which is again, we get to invite our family and their friends of our residents in. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have movie night under the stars or under the portico, as we say it. And literally kick it off with an old fashioned Thanksgiving movie. And so the residents and their families and their friends will be able to enjoy some hot popcorn and some drinks and watch a good old Hallmark old fashioned Thanksgiving movie. So this is how we're starting off the holidays and the celebrations here with our family and our friends tomorrow night.
That is so cool. Now, do you need reservations for this?
So our residents will invite their families and their friends. Certainly, if there is someone who is just interested and maybe want to have a night under the stars, so to speak, just give me a call here at the community today, and that way I can know that they're coming. But it should be a nice time. It's been one of those things that we've been wanting to do. The weather is a lot nicer, but certainly if someone wants to come out for tomorrow night, that's going to be on November 8th, starting at 6:30. So if someone wants to come out, they can do so. But if not, it's just celebrating with our residents and their families and their friends.
That's great. That's really awesome. And what number would they call if they want to let you know they're coming?
Sure, it's 772-337-4330.
That's great. That is great. Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad the Halloween thing went off well. I mean, I just when you originally started talking about it, I think it was August or September. I thought, wow, this thing could really get crazy, and sounded like it did.
it really did. I tell you, I didn't know who was going to attend, but I tell you, with those, I'm pretty sure we had probably about 22 of our outside guests, some that have attended other events, but some for the first time. And I tell you, they were bowled over with the buffet because it was a buffet. So they were bowled over with the foods and the desserts, and then of course to be able to see the community afterwards, right? So to see some of those amenities and services, it was a great day. Seriously, it was. It was really great day.
I know with Veterans Day here, I was thinking about Dwayne and his talks. Um, um, Tell us a little bit about that. Good
Okay.
crowd.
Yeah, so we did. So Dwayne was able to come on two different occasions, and really not only speak to our residents, but our potential residents. And I will tell you, out of his coming and doing his presentation, we now have two who are planning to move into the community because they didn't know, right? They weren't aware that there is the potential that they could get some benefit from their spouse who had served in the military, and particularly in the independent living, right? Because immediately you always think you have to be in our assisted living community. But Dwayne has been able to explain that no, even in the independent living community setting, you're still able to get some of those benefits. And so, again, as a result of that, we have two new family members, new residents who are going to be joining us here at Harbor Place.
I think that's wonderful. That's great, and it's now just a little bit pushing a little bit harder that pandemic in the rearview mirror, and
Absolutely.
that's great news. That is great news.
Yeah, and again, part of what we do here is certainly a lot of the events and a lot of the healthcare professionals that we have coming in are geared towards our residents, but we also always like to invite the outside community to come in because education, right, is key. Knowledge is power. And the more you know, because you don't know what you don't know. And so, whether it is someone coming, a physician coming from St. Lucie Medical Center, or maybe there's someone coming from one of the home care agencies or the hospice support services. I mean, it's great information. And Dwayne, he is invaluable to us with the information that he's able to share about the veterans benefit.
And I think what really shocked me, and this goes back to Dwayne, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, um, that the Veterans Administration says nothing about this program. I mean, it's like a deep, dark secret in the VA, and it shouldn't be. It
Yeah.
really shouldn't be.
Absolutely. And thank goodness that, folks like Dwayne and others who are knowledgeable with what needs to happen and how the benefits can work, that they use that, right? That they don't keep it to themselves, that they actually go out and they share it with others. Because again, you don't know what you don't know, and so for someone like Dwayne, and the agency that he works for, it really does make a difference in terms of someone's livelihood and really, being able to get a different level of care, right? Should they need it. And especially if they were a veteran or if they were a spouse of a veteran, right? It makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would make a huge difference. Um, you just think about it, and if no one has let them know, it's crazy. I mean, it just it seems to me that that would be the first thing that the VA would talk about, but it
Seems
isn't.
to be, right? Seems to be. But you know what? It's great that we have found him and we just really we hold on to him.
Yep.
And we make sure that we share what Dwayne does and we share that with others because again, someone may or may not be able to take advantage of the services and the amenities that we have here at Harbor Place, but we also want to be a resource, right, to those out in the community as well. So not only wanting someone to come and make this their home, but certainly if they can't, then to be a resource for them so that they can get to the appropriate setting that they need.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and I'm glad you guys can give them that stage because, well, hey, the two new people in your residency, yeah,
That's
uh,
exactly right.
that's what it's all about. That's great.
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely.
that's great news. So after Thanksgiving, what's next as far as gatherings at Harbor Place?
So, well, before Thanksgiving, we actually have our Veterans Day celebration that we're going to be doing on this coming Friday. So that will happen where we honor all of our veterans. And then on the 14th, we're doing kind of a thankful, it's a fun thing. It's bingo. We know a lot of people love to engage in the game of bingo. And so we're doing a thankful for you bingo, super bingo. And so that is open to our community, to the public, that they can come in and they can buy some cards and win some fabulous prizes. So that's happening on the 14th. And so then after that, we gear up for the holidays, which is Christmas, Hanukkah. And so we have some students who are going to be coming in and doing some performances, as well as we're planning a candle lighting, a tree lighting ceremony in our assisted living community with one of our physicians that comes in. And then we're doing a wonderland dance that will take us right into January 1st. So that's on the December 31st. We're doing a wonderland dance, and then that will take us into January 2024.
Holy smokes! So you're gonna celebrate New Year's Eve there, huh?
We are, we are. Let's see how late the residents can stay up. Can they make it into 2024, right?
Well, I know I'm normally about 9 o'clock at night. Although we've got a basketball game. I can't even imagine at 12 noon the next day. It's like
Oh,
what?
wow. 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 Oh my goodness.
I
Wow.
know that's my sentiments exactly. Oh, brother. But yeah, that's exciting. Well, but 2024 will be here before you know it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it has been a great year. We've had the opportunity to serve a number of seniors and their families, and so we're so grateful for that. The always looking at the different services, the amenities that we can offer here at Harbor Place. It is through feedback. It is through the opportunity to be able to get on the radio that we have been so fortunate to serve so many residents and their families throughout the 2023 year.
And definitely you are the queen facility of the Treasure Coast. I mean,
Ah,
it has boy, it has not aged whatsoever in 2 decades. It really hasn't.
well, I tell you, it is great to be able to have the reputation out there in the community for the last 22 years. that we've been here. And certainly, again, I can't, say it enough, the opportunity to be able to serve our seniors who are looking for this type of setting, whether it is assisted living or whether it's independent living. Certainly the opportunity is here for each person that is looking for this type of setting.
And for folks just driving around and thinking, okay, I'm looking for a place maybe for my parents, um, explain the differences between independent living and assisted living.
So with our independent living, the resident, key word there is independent. So, our residents are here, and while we provide meals and social programming and activities, a little bit of oversight in terms of making sure that the resident is okay, transportation to medical appointments, to shopping excursions. But then outside of that, the resident is still able to um, independently provide for themselves some of those activities of daily living, right? So you're bathing, you're dressing, you're grooming, their medications, in some instances, driving, still independently driving, and making many healthcare decisions on their own with their physicians or with their family involvement. Whereas in our assisted living, we're providing a little bit more support for the resident who needs that, right? Through an individualized care plan that is created out of an assessment that our nurse would do. And so, whether the resident needs assistance with their medications, or maybe some dressing or grooming, or maybe some ambulation escorts, all of that is created by our nurse once she does her assessments within an individualized care plan. So the difference is that one, in our assisted living, there is a care plan, right, that is developed and created, and then we have our caregivers, our nursing support that will assist the resident. Whereas in our independent living, they are able to still make some of those many healthcare decisions and do some of those daily activities independently.
I know folks like Dr. Watt routinely come into Harbor Place, and you've got a lot of doctors visiting folks at Harbor Place as well.
Yeah. So one of the benefits of being in the community setting, whether it's in independent or assisted living, is that the residents do have access to nurse practitioners and physicians, as well as podiatrists, labs that come into the community to be able to provide some support. So it's not where they necessarily always have to go out to a doctor. They can get many of the services here in the community. It kind of takes away a little bit of that strain of going out, trying to coordinate transportation, or maybe I just don't feel like driving today, right? And so now having physicians and nurse practitioners, as well as labs and home care agencies come into the community, the resident can get what they need, right, in their own home-like setting. So
And as crazy as traffic is now, all over I mean, and the crazy thing, even crazier thing, is that we really haven't experienced the major growth on the Treasure Coast yet. And yeah, I know it's hard to imagine, but when you have 80,000 rooftops already okayed in tradition, I mean, that'll tell you where we're going, and it's not going to take long to get there. Um,
Sure, I understand that. I mean, you can see the growth that is happening. And certainly for me, it works because that means I have more opportunity to serve more seniors. That's it.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Well, there you're pulling out those rose-colored glasses again.
Always looking at the best interests of our seniors, I tell you, seriously.
I get it, but I would also get it too. I mean, there are some days I get out there and I'm thinking, oh, I wish I wasn't driving. I mean, this has just gotten to be a little much for me.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been there.
Sure. I mean, and again, again, some of our residents, do it as a wise decision, right? They're home and, they're having to care for the lawn or the upkeep of the home, the meal preparations that need to happen every day. And then, even, whether you don't maybe use Instacart or Uber Eats or anything like that, but there's still the grocery that needs to happen. There's still the laundry and just the day-to-day upkeep of the home, as well as making some other decisions. And here at Harbor Place, we take away many of those things that you don't have to worry about and can truly, truly be able to enjoy socializing with friends and enjoying the activities that we have, being able to just come down to the dining room and look at our menu, restaurant style dining, and order off of our menu, right? So, I mean, those are things that, right off the bat, we can take away from that resident so that they're not consumed with that and they can focus in on some other things that are, a little bit more they're wanting to do, right? They're wanting to socialize more, and they can do that because they're not having to worry about those day-to-day chores that they normally have to do.
Well, that's a good question as far as like a regular weekly, washing of sheets and towels and stuff like that. I mean, can that be done by the staff at Harbor Place as well?
Sure. So part of the services is that we do provide some housekeeping in our independent living, and then in our assisted living, we provide all of the housekeeping services. So from in assisted living, personal laundry, as well as linens and towels, all of those things on a weekly basis. We can do the laundry services for our residents in the assisted living. In the independent living, we can still do some laundry services for them, but on the floors in our independent living, we have the washers and the dryers. So again, still being able to be independent, but should you need our assistance, we are here to provide that in terms of laundry, ironing if you need it, for those who might want something that's ironed. We're still able to do those things, but in independent living, they can do it if they choose to.
So do I need to save up quarters for this?
Ah, I find that we're pretty competitive to some of our other communities that are out here in the Treasure Coast as well. So certainly, hey, if anybody is curious as to rates and what it would cost, don't hesitate. Give us a call. We'll set up a time for you to come and visit the community. Or if you're just driving around now and you want to know more, just stop by, and we're here. So between Pat and myself, we're certainly always eager and willing and wanting to share our fabulous community with those that are inquiring.
Yeah, but Katrina cannot see you for the next 27 minutes. She's on the air.
Yeah, well, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, listen to her.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
I
We'll see.
if somebody walks through the front door, I'm done. I know. I get it. I've been rejected before.
Sorry, Greg.
That's
Sorry.
wonderful.
Oh my goodness.
That is wonderful. Now, going to assisted again. Do you get, are most of your assisted residents referrals from surgeons? Is that how a lot of that goes?
So in terms of referrals, I mean, we get referrals from just about everyone. But I tell you, most of our referrals for residents who are moving in, both the independent and assisted living, really come from by word of mouth, right? Someone who knows someone who lived here at some point and they had a really good experience. Some are from physicians, maybe that come here in the community or that are outside in the general community. Sometimes from hospitals, sometimes from rehab facilities, whereas they've been there for a number of weeks and now they're ready to be discharged, but not quite ready to go home or can't go back home successfully to thrive. And so they come from a myriad of referral sources, but I tell you what I found is more often than not, it really is from those that knew someone that lived here or has heard about the community just in, being out in the public, sometimes by drive-bys. They're just curious as to what this community is. So, and then they come in and they see it, and now they become part of our family.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that, and it what is really good is in there. I know that in talking with folks from around the Treasure Coast, and there are some places that are so rigid. You can only have a tour at 2 o'clock, period, and that's it. You and Pat are always open to folks having tours.
Yeah. And that, I mean, again, I think there's a number of reasons for that. One, because we love what we do, right? And so we're here because we want to serve seniors and we want to serve their families. And so whatever it takes, we make sure that we're available. But the other thing is that we serve alongside some great team members, whether it is our maintenance director or our lifestyle director, or if it's our manager on duty during the weekend, who are always willing as well to share, right? To show the community, to share the services and the amenities. So when I say that there is someone here 7 days a week, if someone wants to come in and tour, we're not relegated to just Mondays at 2 or Wednesdays or by only during the week, right? There is someone here 7 days a week that if someone should want to come and tour, because we want to make sure that it's convenient for them, right? And so because we love what we do, we make ourselves available. So again, if you're out there driving around and you want to come and see the community, just curious as to is it everything that we're talking about and more here, stop by. We are here for you to be able to share the community. We're so happy to host anyone that comes in with an appointment, without an appointment.
And I know your recreation folks are absolutely phenomenal, and there is so much for the residents to do. I was looking at a list once on the various events that happen on a daily basis. I almost get exhausted just looking at the list.
So one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we want to make sure that our residents stay engaged. We want to make sure that they stay active. We have a lot of conversation with our residents wanting to get feedback. What's working, what's not working, what activities, what programs would they like to see? Is there something new that we want to introduce? So on a given day, Greg, we could offer anywhere from 6 to 7 different activities that are going on, from starting at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, going right up until about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, just depending on the day. And that doesn't even include where some of our residents get together on their own, right? And do some of those activities, whether it's poker, whether it's bridge, canasta, mahjong, that they'll do those individual card games. We have a group that meets on Tuesday mornings and they go out to the shuffleboard court and they do shuffleboard, or some will walk together doing around the campus. And so we are so proud of the activities and the programs that we offer here that are meaningful, that really do get to the whole person, right? Person-centered activities and social programming.
I know, right? When we were setting up one year for the Christmas kids, and it was funny because there was a table set up on the side, and there were 4 people that were just really transfixed to what was going on at the table, and I needed a little help with the extension cord, so I said, "Sir, can you help me?" And he said, "Don't bother me now." He said, "This is a big game." And so and they were playing cards. It was great. It
Yeah.
was funny. Yeah.
I tell you, I mean, from horse racing to Pokino, to some of them individually doing poker nights, right? Blackjack on Thursday nights. I tell you, we draw probably about 25 residents, and they're all vying, honestly, Greg, for their picture to go on the wall as the blackjack winner for that for the week. I tell you, it is amazing.
Wait a minute.
Um,
You have a Hall of Fame there for blackjack?
We do. So we do. We post if they're the big winners for the night. So their picture goes up for the week until the following week until another winner happens. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I
Oh.
tell you, but to be able to walk and to see the picture there, I mean, literally, it does. I mean, it's great. It really is. And so every Thursday night, they're looking to see if their picture is going to be the one that's going to be on display for the week.
So now, which hallway is this in? Is this in the main one when you come in, or on along the sides?
It's right outside. It's in between the multi-purpose room and the bistro
Yeah,
area in the
yeah.
independent living. So yeah. And so we're gearing up because so right now we are doing lessons in assisted living with Blackjack. And so we'll be able to post the photo as well soon.
And I know when we had your rec person on, the cardio drumming is good in so many ways for the seniors.
Yeah. You know, honestly, so cardio drumming, I think evolved out of COVID, right? That's when I first saw it. We were looking at some sort of YouTube video, and it really is this exercise ball that's wedged between the legs of a chair, right? And so then they have these drumsticks. And really what that does is it works towards, you know, not only the hand movement, right? But eye coordination, um, feet coordination, the hearing, the seeing, right? Because they're having to do a beat. So between the hand and the eye coordination, and then you add the feet in there, it really does give for it's you're sitting down, but certainly you're still being able to get the physical activity that's happening. And I tell you, they packed the room because it is great. And I tried it the other day, and I tell you, I was having a little trouble with the hand and the eye coordination. They had it down pat, and I mean, and it makes such a and really the rhythm of it all makes such a great beat. And so when you're walking through the community or am I sitting in my office, I can hear how they just really have that. I mean, it's choreographed perfectly, right? And so one of just again one of those many physical kind of activities that we have going on here. You know, Tai Chi happens on what Wednesday mornings. So really just kind of getting into that whole movement of the body. So yeah, there, I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, we have it for all of the senses.
I know Carol talks a lot about getting us into Tai Chi, that it really does so much for the body. And I've seen a little of it. And of course, Dr. Stuart Shipe, our Chinese expert, he does Tai Chi and teaches courses down at Stewart all the time. And it looks like that would be amazing for the folks.
Yeah. And so, I mean, again, when we're talking about mind and body, you know, really, those are the activities that we are always looking at, right? How can we enhance, you know, not only just the physical, but the mind and the body and the soul, right? So again, as our residents are aging in place, God, here that they still have purpose, right? They're still they can be active and yet purposeful at the same time.
And you hear the stories of past their past lives, and that we talked several years ago about putting a book together. I mean, oh my gosh, you've had some amazing folks.
Yeah, absolutely. And so every day we hear a new story, right? Of our residents and the lives that they've led, the families that they've raised, the amazing careers that they've had, which are great. From nurses to attorneys to physicians, some owning their own restaurant or running a multi-million dollar company to starting a women's soccer league at the university, and then being recognized years later for that, being able to go back to homecoming, which is one of our residents who just came back from homecoming at the university where he started this women's soccer league. I mean, just amazing, amazing stories, right? And I so love hearing them, right? Because they've led some incredible lives. And so to be able to hear that and to share that, and it also helps us when we have potential residents coming in who have similar interests or who have similar careers, right? Right then and there, we can identify them with someone who's already here in the community. So it makes the transition a little bit smoother, right?
Yeah, well, that sounds great. And of course, next year, being the Olympic year, you might even have your own Harbor Place Olympics. I just have a hunch that somehow you're going to spin that off some way.
Yeah. Back in 2022, we did the Olympics here, right? It was the Senior Olympics. I tell you, the residents had such a great time with that. I was just coming in at that time, but I'm telling you, to see them compete and the different things that they did, the stamina that they had, but more importantly, right, the competitiveness. I think that was probably the thing that bowled me over more so, is that the way that they were competing, right, to win the gold. That was the thing. And so it was a great time. And yes, I imagine that yeah, in 2024, as the Olympics are gearing up, we will have our own Olympics here at Harbor Place.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. The mind is amazing because, the maybe a little bit more gray on the top, but as I know, but yeah, you still have that competitive zeal there.
Oh, sure. I mean, you see it again on Mondays and on Sundays when they're doing cornhole, right? And so, yeah, yeah.
Oh
When they're
no.
doing cornhole, right? That right there is it's amazing to see how they're competing. So you have the red team and the blue team, right? And here it is, they're competing against each other and who's going to take home the prize this day? Who's going to take on the championship until the next time that they play? And so it's amazing the competitiveness that is still here, that still that still reigns within our residents in their spirits.
So that's Mondays and when?
Mondays and what is I'm sorry, Mondays and Fridays is when we do the cornhole competition. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
great. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's amazing. And of course you've got the beautiful pool as well.
Yeah, aqua size on Tuesdays, and we have some of our residents who are in the pool every single day. They love the pool. We just revamped it too with some new furniture out there, so it's amazing. It's beautiful. I mean, the weather isn't too cool that they can't go in it now, but even if they braved it when the temperature drops a little bit, it is heated. So the residents are still able to enjoy a swim, or if they just kind of want to go and just maybe do some exercise in there on their own. But on Tuesdays we do aqua size, and we draw quite a few residents that come just to make sure that they get some water therapy in.
There you go. That works for me. Yeah, I would be in the pool every day.
Yeah.
I love to swim.
And
That's
again, like I said, we have one or two residents who are in the pool every single day. And again, with the cooler temperatures, if that's what you want to call it, right? The cooler temperatures here, you can still stay warm in the pool.
Yes, our depth of winter here
Absolutely.
at. What? We have to put on a light jacket? What is that all about? Oh.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll at some point I'll get requests to turn on the heat a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's coming hopefully soon.
Yeah.
We've got the big Stewart Air Show this weekend,
Oh,
and
yes, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and again, getting back to the veterans, it's all about the veterans on this big Veterans Day weekend.
It is. It's a great time to be able to honor those that have served, and recognize them, right? Give them their recognition while they are still here. And so we're always so excited to be able to host that event. And so this year we're going to partner a little bit with Life Care to do that on Friday. But amazingly, we have a number of veterans here who are so proud and always wanting to share a little bit about their time when they were serving, whether it was during wartime or just simply back at home. Some of our women who served as nurses during that time. It's a wonderful time, and I'm so grateful that we have the opportunity to be able to honor them.
Yeah, that's marvelous. And you mentioned life care. I forgot about them when talking about assisted living, because they're on the same campus, and in a way, it's kind of, I guess, if you want to say, a natural extension of what you do on a daily basis.
Yeah. So with life care right here on the campus, and that's what we like to consider us a campus. It does provide some continuum of care, right? So maybe the resident comes in, they're more independent, functioning well, but then again, as you're aging in place, maybe they need the support services of assisted living, and so they transition to our assisted living community. And again, as they're aging in place, should they need a higher level of care, such as long-term care, or maybe while they're in our assisted living or independent, they need maybe some skilled nursing or some rehab services. Life Care is able to provide that. So whether it's physical therapy, occupational, speech therapy, short-term, long-term care, then they're right here on the campus. And it really does provide a continuum of care in a location that families as well as residents are and friends are familiar with, and they're not having to relocate somewhere far away. So it is a great plus. It's a benefit. We partner well with Life Care, certainly. And if there's someone discharging from there again, have completed their rehab services, but not ready to go back home or can't go back home, then certainly our assisted living services are here for them as well.
And I think the big plus with, well, post COVID, if you will, was the remodeling of both the assisted and independent, and that's all accomplished now.
Oh, sure. The entire, both AL and independent living, remodeled, granite, flooring, what is it? It's luxury vinyl tile that we were able to do throughout the apartments, along with some nice plush carpet. But really having the opportunity to be able to do that. So with our apartments and then many of our common area spaces, certainly to be able to stay competitive in the marketplace, but really being able to offer a great product to those that are seeking this type of setting, this type of care.
And again, getting back to independent, if you still have a car and you want to drive, and if you have a pet, you can certainly walk the entire area. That's for sure.
Absolutely, we are pet friendly, and so we certainly love our furry friends who can come to Harbor Place and make this their home as well. Certainly, a lot of ground to cover on the campus, so a lot of walkways, a lot of opportunity for our residents as well as their pets to be able to see the beautiful scenery that we have here on the campus. For those who still drive, we offer covered parking so that they can still be able to maintain their cars and then still be able to go out there and do some of those errands on their own. Even though we have transportation, it's nothing like being able to still go out and do some errands on your own or do your doctor's appointments, or maybe just going out with some friends for lunch or for dinner. So you choose. So, yeah.
So now, do you have regular days where you might take folks shopping? Are there special days for that?
We do. So we do have scheduled transportation with medical appointments as well as excursions. So whether we're going to the casino or whether we're going to the mall or to the movies. And then there are those days that we are scheduled for Publix, Target, Walmart, Bells, the mall, hair salon if they choose not to use our salon services here. But yeah, so there are days that we schedule transportation, but then also our drivers are available should there be an emergency medical appointment that needs to happen, or maybe they need to go pick up a medication that is now been called in by the doctor. So our drivers are available to do some of those, kind of emergency unscheduled transportation runs as well.
Hey, wait a minute. Did you say casino?
We've gone down to Hard Rock. We've gone down to Coconut Creek. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you still gotta have fun. Still gotta have fun.
It rocks at Harbor Place.
It does. It does. And again, remember, we're always seeking feedback from our residents, right, as to what they want to see in terms of social programming and activities. Certainly we can plan all day the activities that we're going to do, but it's nothing like having the feedback from the residents, right? So
that's amazing. And where do we find you on the web?
So if you go to www.harborplaceportstlucie.com, you can find us there and find some of our information there. Or you can even give us a call, set up a time to come and tour the community, 772-337-4330.
Now, you also have floor plans on the web as well, right?
We do. So anyone who's curious as to what the floor plans look like for both our assisted living and our independent living, certainly you can always go on the web as well.
Well, that's phenomenal. That is phenomenal as we get a little bit closer to Thanksgiving and a very, very big event there for not only residents, but their families as well. Yeah, that sounds great. That's really, really wonderful. Harbor Place, Katrina, you have got a very, very special place.
Thank you.
You're so involved in everything, which I think is it's a personal touch, and I've noticed that through everybody there. There is we use a terminology in sports all the time about the culture of the team.
Sisters here and two others.
You have
so
a culture.
There's like five.
Whoops. You have a culture with your team.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We can
Yep.
them.
Whoops. Something's coming in there. But anyway, Katrina, thank you so much for being with us. And we will definitely
All right, let me, Sylvia's here,
talking
so
with
let me
you
talk.
soon, okay?
All right. Thank you, Greg. I'm sorry I had a little bit of technical difficulty.
Oh, that's okay.
There, so.
Hey, are you kidding? In this Zoom age, it happens every day. Believe me.
All right, Greg. Thank you again. I'll see you next week, okay?
Okay, have a good
All
one.
right, okay. All right, bye-bye.
Be well. Katrina Beasley at Harbor Place, where you are never, ever alone.